My name is Melissa Romo, and today we are going to review MATLAB's for loops. For loops are used when the number of loops or iterations needed is known. The loop will break once the last index is used. Let's go through the basic format. For a specific range, the statements within the for loop will be executed. The range is usually something like I equals 1 through b, where b is just another number. The way that the for loop works is that first I equals 1 and statements 1 and 2 are executed for that value. Then it loops and I equals 2. Statements 1 and 2 will then be executed for I equals 2. This continues until I equals b. Then the loop will end. Let's create a script that calculates the factorial of an integer using the for loop. To do so, we need to break down the factorial into smaller multiplications. We will do this by beginning with multiplying 1 by 2. And then that quantity by 3. And then that quantity by 4, and so on. Using this peeling back of an onion method, we will create a MATLAB script to calculate the factorial. We begin with asking the user to input the integer they would like to take the factorial of. We're going to assign that to the variable called n. N equals input, enter the integer that you would like to take the factorial of. Now we're going to start the for loop. We're going to use the variable c as the index. C will need to begin at 1 and end at n. To get the smaller multiplications that we want, we will begin with multiplying 1 by c, then that answer by the next value of c, which would be 2, and so on. The factorial is the factorial times the counter c. And that's all we have in the for loop. Now we need to initialize any variables that have not yet been initialized. That variable is factorial. We're going to initialize it at 1. Now we want to display the answer. We do that using fprintf, and we say the factorial of %d, which is the placeholder for an integer, is %d, which is another placeholder, new line, comma, the first variable that we want to display here in the first placeholder, which is n, and the second variable that we want to be placed into the second placeholder, which is factorial. Now let's run it and see if it works. Hit run. Enter the integer that you would like to take the factorial of. Let's enter 4. The factorial of 4 is 24. That's right. Now let's debug it so we can make sure that we understand what's going on in this for loop. We run it again. We enter 4 again. Here you can see that the factorial and c are both initialized at 1, and the n value is 4. Hit next again. Now c is 2, the factorial is 1, so it's going to be 1 times 2, so the factorial is going to change to 2. You can see that here. Now c is going to become 3, so the factorial is going to be 2 times 3, which will be 6. We'll see that change. Now c will be 4, which will be the last value because it's going through until n, and n is 4. So it's going to be 6 times 4, which is 24. Now you'll see that it will exit the for loop because we've already gone through c equals 4. Now it will fprintf, so it will display this, and it tells us the factorial of 4 is 24. Perfect. Now we can quit debugging. Now that we have covered the basics of for loops, here is a short assignment that will allow you to practice them. Write a function sum steps 2 that calculates and returns the sum of 1 to n in steps of 2 where n is an argument passed to the function. Here's an example and what the example should look like when ran. If you have any questions on this assignment or on this topic, please come to the next SI session while I will be there to assist you. Thank you for watching.